Well, it's 6:30 Sunday morning. I just happened to, that guy over there in that Ford loading stuff up, he gave me a ride up front here from the camper, and I helped him load some of his stuff up real quick as payment for services rendered. So there was a pretty good sized mass exodus out of here last night. There was chances of some weather coming in, and I think that, well, between that and I think the heat kind of wore everybody out a little faster than normal. So there's still fair, I mean, there's all the stuff that's still here, but I'd say a third of it maybe left last night or early this morning. There were guys loading up like me yesterday like crazy. So, but I'm gonna go get me some breakfast, and then we'll buzz down both sides of the runway real quick. So I haven't got this square, this triangle yet, and there's some stuff over there I can get, and that should pretty much have the majority of the static display that was here covered. And I'd like to catch some plowing today. They got plenty of ground yet to turn, so if I can catch plowing, finish up the static display, we'll be doing good. So I guess I should probably buzz through the garden tractors real quick too, because there are still some here. I'd say about half of those yet left yesterday, judging by the line. But first things first, food. Okay, we'll look through this little gaggle of stuff real quick. Got a little 30 horse K steamer. This place did have, I think it was parked in here, maybe it was parked in the next tent down, because I think it's all the same place. They did have an Oliver 1828 Orchard that's actually coming. All this stuff is, they are definitely running that tire off the rim. But all this stuff, that's a white. That is a white. I keep getting sidetracked. All this stuff is coming up for auction about 35-40 minutes south of me. Might not even be that long. Just south of LaPorte here this fall. I think the auction's in November. That took some engineering. Wonder what they use for a front axle. It's neat. Is this a Boland's? Or is Yardman the actual brand? Oh no, it doesn't say. Yardman is the actual brand. D19 gas. All economy power king with a deck. Moline Z. M5, 3020 gas. Massey 50. Another M5 in her work clothes. This one, that's if the decals were a little bit more visible, but even at that, I'm not going to discount it. That's still a good looking tractor. tractor had been a demonstrator. Bought it in the spring of '61. Main tractor. Pulled a John Deere 42 combine. Was their main tractor until '73. Planting tractor, or it became a planting tractor in '73. From '82 on, it was only a loader tractor. So then you got this thing. It's got the same stilt kit as that sprayer tractor we saw, although it looks like it's a tad bit more refined. 1550 utility. MLP. It's an H over there. Then awards. Nope, Lear big boy. And we'll buzz through the garden tractors real quick. I'm not gonna go down both rows. We'll just kind of walk a little slower down the front. I need to, okay, I'm gonna look at this real quick though. Are these embossed, or is that just painted on? Okay, that's just a sticker. I was gonna say, and maybe a Cub Cadet guy will know, I thought, and I probably can't afford them if they did, I thought they made, back in the day, embossed hubcaps that had the IH in them. Maybe not, but if they do, I'd like to find a set for that, or a pair for that little yard cart when I redo it. Cub Cadet with a front mounted sickle mower. There was a Moline 110 gear drive here, but it looks like that guy took off. Some walk behind David Bradley stuff there. Little Alice. This was full. I do want to look at this cart real quick though. I don't feel so bad. His is missing the serial tag too, and his is bulging with rust in the same spot. And in all reality, this is in about the same condition as mine, minus it doesn't look like it's been repainted. And it's got trailer tires on it. Doesn't help the looks much, but the fenders on it are nice and straight. Mine are a little tweaked. So apparently the serial tag missing on these is just a thing, so now I don't feel so bad. So we'll mosey down here and get the tractors in this triangle. Real quick, I answered my own question. Walking up there, I saw this Cub. It's got, those are embossed, so these are originals. So I don't want to find two of these small ones to put on that lawn cart. I think the only thing I'd have to do is reverse the wheels so that the valve stem's inside, because obviously those won't work on the valve stem side. And also I see a dealer sticker here. Bauer Farms and Repair, Columbus and Paola, Kansas. You got a really big cow chef. I wonder what that's made out of. Oh, and it has looks like it had a speaker in it. Plastic. I don't know why. I kind of want it. It'd be stupid. I don't know why, but that must be this tractor, brand new, I'm guessing. Yeah, purchased new, so yep, that's it. I wonder if these are all must, because the family heritage tractor is one of the feature tractors, and I'm guessing that this is the corral for those, because this is normally this triangle has always been the feature area. Yep, that one was purchased new in 51. Purchased new in 1945 at a cost of $1,200. That one, the sign's missing. Super M, bought brand new in 1953, replaced by an 806. That's quite a jump. That's a good sounding 10. 64 806, bought brand new by the at the Jack W. Perlman International Dealer in Potomac, Illinois, farmed in the Penfield area. Purchased new in March of 1941. So he got well, lucky. Bought this just before, you know, before Pearl Harbor, and after that you couldn't buy a tractor anymore unless you were lucky, until about 1944 when they started loosening the restrictions. John Deere D, bought brand new in 1931, used to run a threshing machine. That's pretty impressive to have a tractor that old that stayed in the family the whole time. You're looking at, you know, in 2031, that's going to be 100 years, and we ain't too far away from 2031, as scary as that is. Purchased WD-45, purchased brand new in the fall of 1956 from Dale or D-I-E-L, however you pronounce that, Deal in Thompson, Toledo, Illinois, with a 3-bottom plow and a 12-foot disc. 37Z, bought used in 52. My two brothers in the FFA. '76 1086, bought brand new in November of '76 with a 516 7-bottom plow, or 516 720 plow. Sorry, they still have the plow with it. That one purchased at Harshberger Implement, Urbana, Illinois. That one just says Dad bought new. I'm guessing in '67, since that's the year it is. Could have been '68, depending on if he bought it in winter. I'm guessing they were running a little bit of LP injection. Power Equipment Company, Urbana, Illinois. We saw another sticker from there on another tractor at some point. I don't remember. It was obviously an IH. I just don't remember what it was. Oh, that little C is beautiful. Purchased new November 3rd, 1948 from, however you pronounce that, Canute Grain and Fuel Store. Made the down payment of $603, selling 33 market hogs, paid off the remaining $1,323 in 17 monthly payments of $73.51. 39 F20, purchase new. Must be the first tractor the guy bought new. Just a few more, then we'll head on down the runway. Morning. Purchased new March 17th, 1953. Copy of the original bill of sale. Looks like they traded in an M. And they got $1,900 for the trade-in. And the Super M cost them $2,900. TO35, been in the same farm since it was purchased. 5/28, 1955 was the first and only new tractor they ever purchased. I think we actually saw this one somewhere earlier because that story sounds familiar. 55 TO35, purchased new. Didn't really give much more information. So, but that is, oh, we got these over here. This is a really nice cock shut. 1655 front wheel assist, so even as an Oliver that would be worth a fair bit of money, but being the cock shut variant, she's worth probably a little bit more. And that rack of weights right there is probably, being the correct Oliver weights, they don't have the cast in them, the base weight, and the 5 of the two-handled weights, because the correct ones have the handle top and bottom. That right there is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,000 worth of weight. A full set with the extensions, and I think the extensions will give you room for 2 more weights, so you'd have 8, 9, 10, you'd have 12 weights. A full set will bring between $2,000 and $2,500 because you can't find them. It's the Oliver weights are the hardest to find, the ones with the in them, because they're actually Moline weights. That's where they came from, was the Moline side of things. They're a little easier to find, but they're still not that common, which is why we have white weights, because they are, at least in our area, kind of a dime a dozen. Not, oh, Sonny Beck. Sonny Beck. Met the guy in person twice, was not impressed either time. So anyhow, we can go down this side of the runway. There's probably not a whole lot left. I think actually most of us down on the other side of the intersection, but we'll buzz down this side of the runway and then I'll come back down that side, and that should pretty much be the end of the static display. Have a 400 LP high crop single front wheel, and if I remember right, I think the single front had its own designation. Yeah, high drum cotton. So I think this tractor actually, I don't know if that was just the designation for this or if that made it a cotton picker special. An IH guy will know better. I just know that the single front wheel kind of had its own designation. Because if it had the high arch wide front, that would make it a V. That would make it a V for vegetable. Really nice Transtar too. They were, if I remember right, this one we saw they haul a load in when we were unloading. 1981. Oh, Farmall 230. Little C all growed up. Well, partway grown up, then it became the 240 and yada yada yada. We've actually seen these pedal tractors a few times before. This guy hits a lot of shows. He goes to a lot of them back home too. I don't know where he's from. He's actually got a second pair of trailers that he must have moved out already. Union City, Indiana. That cat and that International up there are probably worth more than the whole trailer. Oh wow, how do you do that? I wonder if it had a loader on it. Broke the same on the other side. Oh, it's broke here, it's broke here. I'd almost be willing to bet this thing had a loader on it. It's broke there. Okay, this is interesting. 63 Farmall, the guy bought it. At age 79, bought it new, drove it until he was 83. 79 years old, bought a brand new tractor. Farmland, Indiana. Morning.
Yeah.
Is this one of the factory conversions, or do you do this?
It's not a factory, but I
Well,
do it too.
the factory GM kit for it. I always thought they sounded cool. They sound off from regular Detroit, but they still sound cool.
Yeah. The way to tell a real GM conversion, see a plate right there?
Mm-hmm.
On a factory M, that adapter plate's only 1/4 of an inch thick.
Mm-hmm.
And GM made their plate 1/4 of an inch thick. And the guy that did that made his own plate. And it looks like it's an inch thick.
Huh. The more you know.
And normally, that GM plate is painted green like the engine, and it sticks out.
Yep. Huh. Well, that's neat. Well, appreciate the information.
Well, thank you.
Learn something new every day. So there you go. If you run across a Farm All M that's got a Detroit conversion in it, look at that plate, and if it matches his description, then it is a GM kit. Hop across the runway here real quick. Some nice old binders. Neighbor always had a dump truck just like this when I was a kid, and he sold it, and it went down to LaPorte, and I found it again one time driving back and forth from college, and at the time I wanted to buy it back in the worst way, but at the time I was in college and didn't have any money, especially not money to buy a 1-ton international truck, and it sold again, and I don't know where it went after that. Say by about noon here, it's going to be pretty thin. Huh. That's neat. All original, no shit. Yeah, a little bit of rust right there. I'd dare say I'd call that bed immaculate. Same with the interior. How many miles? 26,550. Yeah, 26,559. That old girl is a time capsule. No, the only thing I see in the body is that little rust bubble right there, and at some point it something that got sideswiped, and it put a little wrinkle in that bedside and scratched the paint. But other than that, this truck is beautiful. Now there's a little rust line right there too, but that kind of rust is just character. She deserves to stay exactly like that. That is a true survivor of a truck right there. Especially internationals, because internationals seem to be like Dodge of the day, and they just rusted down to nothing, it seems like, at least back home. 71 Travelall. That one's not in bad shape either in its own right. John Deere hammer mill, some odds and ends. All I really got to catch here is this Cub stuff that I missed while I was doing I obviously didn't do it while I was doing shellers and stuff. International high tran jug or drum. We end up getting chickens. I'm gonna have to buy a belt drive hammer mill like that so I can grind chicken feed with it, right? Actually, that's no lie. If we got chickens, I probably would look for a little hammer mill like that so I grind feed with the Cub. I've actually been thinking about that. Except I would probably rig it up on my 48 and actually like bolt a platform or something to the drawbar so that the hammer mill is physically bolted to it, and you just got a short belt. That way you don't got to worry about lining the belt up every time. And then this should just be a roller mill. Yep. And then that's a Cub power unit. Or nope, that would be an A or a Super A power unit. That's a U1. They did make a Cub power unit, but that ain't it. Or no, is that a Cub power unit? Yep, that's a Cub engine, so That is a Cub power unit. Apparently the Cub units used an A grill. I thought the Cub power unit still used a Cub grill, but it looks like they use the A grill and sheet metal. But that's definitely a Cub engine. It's been so long since I've seen one. The last Cub power unit I saw was at a show down in Missouri, but when I was a little kid. And then this is a little belt drive corn sheller with a sacker attachment. Cobs come out here, corn comes out there, and you'd have a sack, or have sacks tied on each one, and when you filled up one, you'd flip the lever and start filling the other. You'd put your new bag on and just back and forth. Oh, there's still more stuff. So this is all Cub stuff. Cub grader blade, rotary hoe, spring tooth, two-way plow, single point plow, single point regular plows, except this one's standard moldboard, that one's a slat bottom, disc, 2-section drag, which I thought that the Cub one was only 1 section. Maybe not. Seems like a Cub would have a hard time picking that up. That's got to be for a Super A or 100, because I don't think a Cub would pick that up. Maybe it will, I don't know. But 1-row planter, 1-row lister planter, gang mower. That'd be handy for the yard. I'd mow the yard with that. That's different. That looks like our F42, but the hitch is a lot different. It's got an IH sticker on it, so I wonder if this one's an actual IH. Because IH did make a mower. They made the Cub clipper, which was similar to that Woods, but I guess I've never seen one like this. But I don't think this one's a Woods. I don't know. I've never seen one that looks like that. I mean, parts of it look like the Woods. Interesting. Then you got fast hitch buzz saw, slip scoop, Howard rotavator. We've got one of these. I want to get it working again. Hopefully this winter I'll get it working again so I can use it in the garden. Shield cultivator, and that covers the implements. Obviously you got a baler over there, that's got a Cub power unit on it. OS4, Super W4, Cub with a post hole digger. And this one this is very rare. That's worth more than the whole tractor. That's a Hub City PTO reducer reverser. It reversed the rotation to the correct, what would it be, counterclockwise? Or no, clockwise. Yeah. It reversed the PTO rotation so that it spun the correct industry standard way. And then it also gave you a standard 540 shaft, because obviously the Cubs normally have, is there one that doesn't? Yeah. That's your normal Cub PTO. It spins backwards to everything else, and it spins at engine RPM, so however fast you rev it is what your PTO speed is. So these PTO reversers are very hard to find, and when you do find them, plan on paying, depending on who you're bidding against and what kind of mood they're in, you can plan on paying between $650 and $1,000 for one of those PTO reducers. Unless the prices come down, but back in the day when we first started getting into the Cub stuff and Dad was looking, that's what they were bringing. So by now they could be bringing more. That being said, the Cub stuff has fallen off in favor just a little bit, because a lot of people back when we first started getting into them that were looking at them for mowers and stuff are now looking for you know, compact utility tractors, so they got better hydraulics, front wheel assist, yada yada yada. So the Cubs, as far as utility tractors, that demand has fallen off a fair bit. So I was hoping there was enough of that dealer sticker to read, because I don't think, yeah, that must be the guy's name. And then this is a factory international dump trailer that was kind of tailored for the Cub A, Super A, that size tractor. That one's actually in really nice shape too. Can't remember the model, and I don't see a tag, so I can tell you the model. But anyhow, run back down the other side of the runway and we'll be good. Real quick, we'll look at this old Diamond T. This has a lot of international look to it. I don't know, I don't know enough about trucks to know if there was a little, because I know International made parts and bought parts for a lot of different companies and to a lot of different companies. So I don't know if there was any playing around and trading parts between Diamond T and International, or a lot. But the front of this truck looks a lot like an International of this vintage. Deluxe 1-ton model, 509. There's no way, even back then, you could buy a truck like this for 600 bucks. There's no way. Price is subject. Now that sounds like man, buy that ad. 600 bucks back in the day would buy you this truck. I mean, yeah, back then the 600 bucks was still a lot of money, but even if you figure in inflation, that's a cheap truck. That would have been a cheap truck today. Okay, we're gonna start kind of here on the corner and catch some of the four-wheel drives. I'm not gonna go all the way down, because I think we've seen some of those tractors before already. But 69 Versatile D145. Troy Equipment Inc., Troy, Missouri. Marion County Implement Inc., Palmyra, Missouri. That's a good looking 07020. Someone took care of that one. Big Rome. Unfortunately, I don't think they've actually had this thing hooked up to anything yet, which is really disappointing, because it's got a straight pipe 3408 cat. One, two, three, four, five. I had the option for six sets of remotes. Electric over hydraulic solenoid actuation. That's fairly modern for that time. This thing looks really easy to service. That's a lot of motor. And I bet, I mean, I can't even begin to describe to you how tall this tractor is. I bet you it's got to be close to 9 foot to the top of the grill. I don't think the cab, man, no, even the, it doesn't look like the cab's a whole lot taller than a standard four-wheel drive, but man, the hood on this thing is just up there. And you got, I mean, you got room for days. I bet this thing is easy to work on. Ford FW30. This is actually owned by Jason, the guy that does Big Tractor Power. I think they ran it a little bit on a disc, but I think that's about it. And this guy was here last year. Or not last, I keep saying last year, 2 years ago. '8630 with a Kinsey Repower Cat. Guessing 3406. Guessing. Pretty sure. Versatile 900. We ain't been looking at the plows neither. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bottom DMI. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. 10 bottom DMI Hydro Wide. I believe they look about right. I can't see. Yep, 619s. DMI did use Oliver bottoms on their plows, and at the start they used Oliver Coulters, but as when they made them taller, I think they started making their own, because those aren't Oliver, but the bottoms are. This is obviously Rennert's 1150. With an international flex back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 bottom. That's a lot of plow. And then Versatile 800, pulling another international. Obviously Rennert's 5020. '6030 track tractor. This thing's been floating around the internet for years. This must be a replica tractor, 10X 890. Yep, this is the Bill Dietrich is the guy that had DMI, and they had one just like this that they built for testing implements. So hence the copycat. This is somebody replicated it. So now there's 2 of them. This is an International 560 that somebody dropped a 3208 in. They did a nice job on the frame. I think I would have welded that hole shut to avoid a weak spot, but that's just me. Alright, talked to Shelly for a minute. We got a game plan together as far as roughly how the rest of the day is going to go. This is a John Deere blower for her fan burner unit for a grain dryer. You'd back it up and then there'd be a flexible whatever to attach it to the bin or whatever you're blowing hot air on. how do you pronounce that? K-N-A-U-P apostrophe S. Knaut, or Naups? Not Naups. I bet it's like Naups, because I bet the K is silent. Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. That's a clean old picker. That one must just be a snapper, because, oh, nope, there is a husking bed. So it's a picker husker. You saw this one running yesterday. Stefford Equipment, Westby, Wisconsin. And this stuff all belongs to the people that I would normally come down with. Good looking 1950 T, but she's obviously a trailer queen. I'd still take mine. Mine does more work. I would like to find these pre-cleaners though. If I could find some that kind of matches the patina of the tractor, I would like to find the actual pre-cleaner bowls rather than just the Bolo top intakes like what mine has. But the ones for the small intake tubes are kind of hard to come by. We had, I think it was the 1800 we ended up having to get one for because something was wrong with it maybe. And it took us a minute to find one. I mean, they're obviously not hard to find because these should be roughly the same size, but I think they're the same size. Let's look. There's, what would you say it is, about 2.5? They should be the same size. But they don't come up for sale that often, I guess is how I should put it. Yeah, they're the same size. The bigger ones, like for the single stack, like what's on the 1955, those aren't as bad to find, but the small ones, for some reason, the people that got them don't want to get rid of them. But this is all, well, 3 versions. They're missing the white 270, but this would be all 3 heritage versions of the 1655. Cockshut, Moline, and Oliver. You probably saw that combine running the other day. Little B.O. Lindemann. For sale. What's the price? $8,000. Wow. I wish I could have got to see this thing shell corn. It's just kind of neat, but I didn't. And I think they're done shelling. They might have a little, I don't even know if they got any more to pick. I think they got everything taken care of yesterday. Oh, I didn't get to see that one run either. I spent a lot of time talking to people this year. I feel like I didn't get to see as much. Oh, I think it must be about time for the flag raising. Yep. So I'm gonna hold here for a minute and watch that. That flag is 65 by 120. That would cover my pole barn. My pole barn is 40 by 64. That would cover almost, well, I mean, I guarantee you if you draped it over my pole barn, it would completely cover my pole barn, but the footprint on it is 2 of my barns. That tells you something. But we just got a little bit left here on this corner I want to take a peek at. You know, they even cleaned the thrashing machine up yesterday. Like I say, yesterday about 3 o'clock, guys really started. Yeah, it's probably a little later than 3. It was probably closer to 4-ish. Basically, when the field demonstration started to wind up for the day, guys really started to skedaddle. Gonnerman. Case 80 horse. Minneapolis. D6 with John Deere Sureflex tiller, and then Alice HD16 with a white 2549 flexback plow, which basically the front half is the 2549 and then the back half is a 548, but it's got this hitch right here that so that if you had a case where you needed a what is this, 1 2 3, if you had a 1 2 3 4 5, okay, so if you had a spot where you needed a 5 bottom plow, you could actually drop the back plow off and use it as a regular semi-mounted. This old girl been run over. Those ball boards have been torch cut like that. That's weird. I wonder what the reasoning for that was. Whole plows like that. I'm sure there was a reason for it. Francis Platt, Mason, Michigan. That plow is a long way from home. 1 2 3 4, so it's a 10 bottom. That'll look really good behind a 4210. Alice HD16. That's a white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 bottom. Alice HD5. I can't remember if that's a guard unit, they said, and I couldn't hear. But that was the guys that helped raise the flag this morning. Avery Plow Co. No Man Self-Lift Plow. Oh, that's how that works. So this whole shaft turns, and these are just eccentrics. So the shaft can turn 360. And then this is kind of a typical normal plow clutch lift. Some really interesting roller, pre-roller, whatever kind of chain you want to call that. Manufactured 1912. That's neat. Behind a case, 2040. Old Rumley. Another old Rumley. That's a big one. Just look at the size of that flywheel. I bet that flywheel's got to weigh close to 1,000 pounds. They got a model number on there. Type S. 60 horsepower. That was a big tractor for its day. Moline 3570. Case 4072. Big O cross motor. Altman Taylor. I'm guessing a 3060. Big old Avery cross motor. Horizontally opposed 4. Looks like they got 2 cylinders out the front, 2 cylinders out the back. Yep. Same thing here on a smaller scale, Avery. Horizontally opposed 4. 2550. This one doesn't say, but I'm guessing it's got to be at least 70 on the belt. We saw that guy unloading on the go the other day. 303. That's gotta be a hard time fitting down 2 rows. I gotta believe he's running over corn. So you'd have a row. It's gotta be close. It might fit, but man, it's gotta be tight. And we got 2 more combines here. And pretty much everything that I wanted to get video of a lot more, but I can only be so many places at once. Fortunately, I did not get video of this 2890 running. There was actually 2 of them here, but they didn't show up till Friday, I think. Or no, Saturday. I think I got video of this 205 though, I think. So anyway, I think I'm gonna go back and we're gonna break the camper down and get that ready and try to get a little video of plowing, and we're probably gonna skedaddle on out of here. Okay, I got talking to a field marshal again, just about whatever and life and whatnot. So luckily it worked out. These guys just started turning dirt. Oh, corn flood. Let me run down here real quick. This is kind of a cool shot. Sunday is the best time to video around here. You miss some of the equipment, but you can get a lot of video without all the dang golf carts. Good behind the tee. just to finish up here, we'll catch the last little bit of disking. If I remember right, tractor and disking guy looks familiar. Like I say, I wish it'd be nice if I could just leave my stuff unloaded and play a little bit yet this morning when there's not a bunch of golf carts and crap around, but it's just so much easier to get loaded up early Saturday evening and be done with it. Well, I'm glad I got through the rest of the tractor display area yesterday because it's pretty well cleaned out. Heritage Iron's all packed up and Corvs is all packed up, and I'd say 60% or better of the tractors are packed up and gone, so I think we are going to be on our way as well. So with that being said, until 2025, Half Century of Progress show out.